What is going on, everyone? It is Sunday night. We are back in business. I am BB. With me, as always, is BC, and it is time for another episode of the I-71 Playbook Podcast. How are we, sir?
Not bad, BB. Sup? How are you? Yeah, I said sup. Whatever.
I heard. Yeah.
That's the way.
Well,
That's the
I'm
way
I'm
BB. That's the way BB's heart, folks. Just say sup to her. It just makes her so happy.
makes me something. Um, I am back on my own home turf, so I have my recording set up the way that I like to have it after 2 weeks on the road.
Oh, how it misses
Um,
you.
I do wish, however, in the time that I was down there, that you and I could have like met up for lunch, and um, but our schedules and distance was kind of an issue. So
Someday it'll happen. Someday it'll happen.
someday
So
soon, actually,
yeah. So
we got the mustache game coming up.
that is true. That is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so many thoughts and feelings this week. Usually,
All of the
the
feelings.
usually the beginning of training camp just makes me all warm and fuzzy and happy. As one of my favorite wrestling podcasters, Simon Miller, says, warm and fuzzy in the old tum tum. And usually I get those feels. I get excited. I get that nervous excitement, when the Browns go to camp and the Buckeyes start practicing and everything. And I think today is going to it's a bummer for me. So let's start
A
out with some
bummer.
happier. Yeah, let's start out with some happier stuff.
All right.
The
Well,
Cleveland. I was going to say the Cleveland Indians had a banner weekend, and I said Indians because I
they
mean
did.
Indians.
That's
Yes.
right. The voice of the Cleveland Indians and the Cleveland Guardians since 1990. Tom Hamilton is the 2025 Ford C. Frick Award winner, and he went in the hall. So Hammy is in the hall yesterday, and his acceptance speech yesterday was beautiful. And then today, former Cleveland Indians pitcher, Mr. CC Sabathia, also 2025 Hall of Fame award winner. He's in the hall too. Although I don't believe, did he go in as an Indian or did he go in as a Yankee?
I'm pretty sure. I think he went as a Yankee. I did not see it today, but I'm pretty positive he went. It makes sense. It makes sense. He won. He won his. I mean, he as good as he was for Cleveland. I mean, the bulk of his career accolades happened in New York, and it's cool. I got no problem.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the bulk of his career, or the bulk in his career, was here because he would always show up to camp little inflated. Anyway, that's beside the point. Congratulations to both Hammy and CC. Once an Indian, always an Indian. We love them both. Hammy more so. Hammy deserves it. You want to talk about an absolute legacy?
Yeah, we talked on it numerous times. Yeah, we talked numerous times on this. How blessed we've been with Hammy, Jim Donovan, Joe Tate. Just for the bulk of our lives, just Hall of Fame broadcasters throughout Cleveland. So even though we may not have got the rings that we all want so bad, we got a lot of memories with those three guys, and Hammy's still doing it. Yeah, Hammy's still doing it and doing it at the top of anybody's game. So yeah, congrats to Hammy, congrats to CC, and
absolutely,
and yeah, absolutely. So good news there.
Shockingly enough, yeah. And then the last couple of weeks, we've kind of been bagging on the Gardos a little bit. They've been in a bit of a free fall. However, the last 7 out of 10 games, they've actually managed to put W's in the column and are flirting around 500. So glad to see that they learned how, or they remembered how to play baseball again. I mean, that's always fantastic.
The other day, they're like, hey, the Guardians are 11 out of their last 13, and I'm like, oh, hey. I go look at the standings. We're still 10 out, so it's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and
I
unfortunately,
mean, they
speaking
are.
of free fall, yeah, the Tigers are not hanging it in there, but ooh,
Yeah, it's
they need pitching help like really bad. I mean, they've got and last year they had Scooble and a bullpen, and they managed to make that go on one hell of a historic run at the end of last season. This year they brought back a high performing pitcher, Flaherty, but like Cleveland knows with pitching and they're supposed to do something. They ain't living up to their end of the bargain here. So,
well, I
but
will
yeah,
say
we are
I will say
still.
this. One exciting thing for the Guardians, Shane Beavers looked great in his minor league outings. So hopefully, he's back with the big club, and they can get some pitching help that way.
I saw Lake County hyping up his debut.
Yeah,
You know, come see Shane Bieber. Yes, that's Shane Bieber. Like that's. I mean, I get it. He's on a rehab
yeah.
assignment, and that's just the way it goes.
I mean, this guy's
That's not entirely the flex that they think it is, though. Like,
yeah, but I mean, he's a former Cy Young winner. He's still the best pitcher on the Guardians staff. He's multiple
that's
time
not
All
again. That's
Star,
not the flex that you want it
but
to be right now.
he's still the ace. He's still the ace of the staff. So if they had Bieber last year in the playoffs, maybe they beat the Yankees. And it's things like that. That how crucial not having him in the rotation last year was when it came to that series against the Yankees. So
Well,
once
between
again,
that and Class A,
yeah, Class
you
A
know,
having a meltdown, and yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, you know, Guardians are mid team. They're I think they are a 500 team.
they are.
But there is some hope for the rest of the summer. They are in the wild card chase, so playoffs are not out of the purview.
And
Like
that's
they can still get
usually
in.
that's what happens though, and that's what was happening under Tito is
Yeah.
they'd get hot, they'd start out real hot. Right around the All-Star break is when they would just completely shit the bed. And oh yeah, then we fight for a wild card spot and go on an absolute tear. Uh Side note, something happened while I was down and away in Ohio that you would actually be slightly proud of me for.
Oh.
So on the, I always get talking to about my vocabulary and my use of certain sentence enhancers. I'm not going to point fingers or name any names. Um, but someone has an issue with my sentence enhancers. Now, when I was in Ohio, I got to catch up and see some friends and some family that I haven't seen in far too long. One of which was one of my absolute best friends, who I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, who was gearing up to do her 75-mile Velosano ride.
Oh yeah.
75 miles, that's insane. But I also got to see my nieces who did another little event that's connected to it. They are both 7 and 5, and the 7-year-old completed, I believe, 6 miles, and the
Awesome.
5-year-old completed a little over 2. So they got to ride around the zoo. But I got to go out and see them, and they have a dog who they adopted when I was staying with them and helping them out with during some family issues. So dogs end up in the dining room when I come in the house, and I'm told, well, he's got a little problem with nipping, and I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. So I'm handed treats, and I was told to toss them into the dog. So I handed the first one to him, like flat, like you would a horse. Like, here, look, there's a treat. There's no fingers under there. Go. Almost lost a fingertip. I was like, okay, so tossing it is. So start throwing it away, give him all his treats. offer the back of my hand, just sniff, say, all right, now this ball's in your court. What I did not realize is this dog was part piranha. And he decides, I don't know if you guys can still see this, kind of latch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, latch on.
And through some blood.
Now, this all happened. Oh, yeah. It was fun. And it happened so fast, quickly. So I remember yelling out in pain and surprise. And my nieces immediately went into help mode. So that kind of triggered something in my mind, like, okay, don't freak out the kids, don't have a fit, let's make this happen. And of course, my friend and her wife are apologizing up and down and, whatever. So we get everything all cleaned up and we were getting ready to go. We went on with the rest of our evening. The dog spent the rest of the evening in his cage. He was grounded. But I was getting ready to leave and the girls were getting ready for bed. And I looked at my friend and her wife and I said, I would like the record to reflect. And I also would like the record on the internet to reflect. Not one curse word was dropped during that whole thing.
Just like Hammy.
I'm going to toot my own little horn. Right? You know
clean
what?
For the kids.
I will take that.
Keeping it clean for the kids.
I will. I have absolutely no idea how that happened. Because, I've got a dog attached to my hand and not in a fun way. So I figured you would have been proud of me in the fact that
very, very proud of you.
That
very
happened and no sentence enhancers were used. So
so yeah, just
little pat on the back for me.
My hot streak with movies that we have discussed briefly on here continued. 2025 continues to be a banger at the theater. Thunderbolts, great stuff. Marvel, How to Train Your Dragon, like the cartoon, brought a little tear to my eye. Good stuff. F1. By the way, I'm now hooked at F1. That's a whole different story. I watched my second.
Oh.
I watched my second race today. I watched the British Grand Prix a couple weeks ago, the Belgian Grand Prix. Got up early this morning with my friend Reagan and Jared's house. Watched Lando Norris and Team McLaren finish 1-2, and Lando finished second this week. And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And
but you're excited about it, and that makes me happy.
Oh, I'm totally. I'm all in on F1 now. Like between the movie, between my friends being big fans of it, like I've really gotten into it. Then Superman, still one of my favorite things I've seen in the theater in a long time. And then Fantastic Four this week. I think Marvel got its fastball back between Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was, for lack of a better term, fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It and Superman really, they did something that I really appreciated that comic book movies have not done. Every time you get a introduction to a character, even though you know the character, they always have to do an origin story, right? We know the origin story.
Right.
Superman's planet blows up, gets sent to Earth, raised by a couple Kansas natives, become Superman. Fantastic Four, they go to space, cosmic rays hit them, they all, mutate and become superheroes. They didn't do that in either one of the movies. They just, the writers and directors are like, we respect you enough to know that, these American icons of pop culture, their story, and they just throw you right into biz. And it's been such an awesome thing. Yes.
I mean, yeah, and
Jose
been around
is now
since, I want to say the 60s.
So I apologize. Yeah, Jose's over here destroying my basement right now. Thanks, Jose,
Hello.
buddy. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. I think he's on speed.
Make good choices, Jose. Make good choices.
So anyway, the movie summer has been fantastic.
Good.
Next up, from the Files of Police Squad, The Naked Gun.
No.
Oh yes, Liam Neeson playing Leslie Nielsen's iconic Frank Drebin. I'm so ready for this one. And
I will wait until that one is streaming because I can't.
Do you know what else came out this
weekend?
I
love the originals too much.
Well, and that's why I'm in. But do you know what else came out this weekend? Happy Gilmore 2, which I have not watched yet.
I have not, and I'm conflicted because I
Oh,
love the original,
it's gonna be great.
and I don't know if you can go back home again. I mean, there's so many awesome characters that we've lost that I don't know if.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Adam Sandler has been doing this thing with Netflix longer than anybody else.
Right.
He has not really put out a bad movie on Netflix. Like, they've all been great. And I don't think that he would take this property that he holds so dear. I watched an interview with him talking about what Happy Gilmore means to him.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a complete just crack your butt up kind of movie like the original.
See, I'm
looking forward to trying it out.
I have no doubts, but I'm at the same time I'm just like there's a little bit of trepidation on my part. It's
so
just a little nervous.
So let's do some homework for this week. Let's make sure we both get Happy Gilmore 2 in, and we talk about it next week.
Are we a movie pod now?
I think it's sports. It's sports and pop culture colliding.
Yeah, it is one of his sports movies, so that is accurate.
This isn't The Wedding Singer. This is anyway.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites, though.
Great movie. Great movie.
So we've talked about the good. We've talked about. Now we got to get a little bit into the bad, end of the ugly. Yesterday, we found someone else who's in a little bit of a football slump who wants absolutely nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns this season. Jordan Hicks decided after 10 years in the league, 1 year with the Browns, that I'm done. I'm out. I mean, he put up some decent numbers for us last year. He started 12 games.
He had a really good year last year.
He did. He had 40 solo tackles, 38 assists, 2 sacks. Yeah, that's all pretty solid performance. And but for whatever reason, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, he had a tough job too because he had to really step up when JOK got hurt. And I believe, and anybody can correct me in the comments, but I believe he took over the mic, which means he's the middle linebacker, and he is calling the shots on the defense, and trying to replace JOK. You can't replace JOK. JOK was playing all pro level. He was playing great football the last few years, and really, really hope that first of all he gets healthy and then he can come back. But obviously his health first. But Jordan Hicks did a really nice job. His PFF grade was really good for last year. He was one of the kind of surprise bright stars of Cleveland's defense, which we've talked about ad nauseum. Took a while to get going last year. A lot of that's the offense's fault.
He did.
But at the end of the year, they were playing really good football, and he was a big part of that right on the inside of that defense. So yeah.
So he will be missed. Best of luck in your retirement there, Jordan. Definitely, there's a huge hole to fill on our defensive line. So
yeah,
that is a bummer.
Saw Carson Schlesinger has been getting first team reps this week at camp. So the rookie's ready to kind of step in and probably take over that role because we'll get into people like Devin Bush here in a little bit. So anyway, go ahead.
Well,
let's before I get too into the weeds of depression here, and my absolute, as I wrote, you want to see all my notes this week?
Sure. Oh my.
Football funk. That is what that first line says. Ooh. Football funk. And yeah, before we get there, we did have some laughs this week with the Browns unveiling. So please take it away, BB.
We did. So if you have been living under a rock, the Browns for the first time in I think 3 seasons, have decided to change up the uniform a little bit with an alternative uniform.
First time in team history with a non-white or orange helmet. First time.
Yeah. So that is
1946. True. They've never done this.
So yeah, we've gone away from either an all orange or an all white helmet. Um, they're calling it the Alpha Dog. Um, do you want me to get into my thoughts, or do you have other things? Because
So
I know we texted about this before I left, and I said I'll reserve my comments for when we record because
I'm at
I
work
want
the
you
other
to just
day.
be.
Yeah, I'm at work the other day. I'm gonna set this up for you. And like I get notification from the Bleacher Report on my phone. It says Alpha Dog. And I'm like, it says Browns unveil Alpha Dog. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I click on it. It's like, oh, the Browns have an alternative helmet. And
Mhm.
at the same time, some reason right around there, I jump on YouTube. I little downtime at work, and McAfee. I subscribe to Pat McAfee show, and it's on YouTube. And so I click on it,
Mhm.
and there's Brownie the Elf with this mysterious box, and they're doing a 30-minute countdown to open this box with Brownie the Elf on the McAfee show, and their unveiling did not go smoothly, but went a little better than the one that happened in Lake Erie. And I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So that is the video that is everywhere. Akron's own and America's favorite raunchy grandma, Ross Smith, and his grandmother were there to help unveil the new Alpha Dog helmet. And either it was a bit or he actually did, but he went into the lake. He fell off the little platform and went kersplash. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to kind of address. So he plops into the lake after the Alpha Dog helmet. The unveiling itself did not go smoothly, but that's all fine and dandy because that all goes hand in hand with the sponsors of the Alpha Dog helmet and uniform.
And before you say the sponsors, we have not said, for those who have not seen, this is a matte brown helmet. It's all brown with the stripe. So with that in mind, BB, who was the sponsor of this helmet unveiling?
So all of the, again, plopping into the ocean did not go smooth. There's a stripe. It's all brown. Because, of course, you can think of no one else to sponsor this but Dude Wipes. Okay, so here's where I'm going to get into it. It is a matte brown helmet. It is an all brown jersey. It is all brown pants. Okay, so we've got a new sponsor for the team. Now, my next question, are we going to be doing a name change? Because I can totally see them selling jerseys with the Cleveland Mr. Hankies on them. It's bad enough that we are the butt of the joke of the league again because of the last 4 years and the $230 million diaper stain sponsored by Dude Wipes. There's the joke that we've heard since we were kids that I'm going to take the Browns to the Super Bowl and you got to go take a dump. So, of course, it's brilliant to make a 52-man roster dress up like actual pieces of shit. The fact that there were so many levels that had to go through to get approval. And then you're coming out there with the little inflatable Dude Wipes costume.
Unveil a brown uniform.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I can't. Now, side note, the helmets do look kind of nice. They're kind of not bad. They're not terrible.
I actually like the helmet, but the circumstances are just incredible. it's that kind of decision making that I realized why I'm in my football funk, BB. You know, sit here and I am, like I said, I'm just not excited. And I thought maybe, well, they had a bad year. No, they've had a lot of bad years. I still got hyped up. Maybe it's because I
Yeah.
don't have season tickets and I'm not looking for it. No, it has nothing to do with that because I got rid of my season tickets this year. What is it? And then Andrew Berry took the podium the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know me, former teacher, loves to get context, loves to tell stories. I will give a little context to Andrew Berry's presser. Hold on, we gotta get serious here. So, okay.
Oh,
So
there goes the hat.
I try not to do this every episode because I think it kind of cheapens the mood. But Andrew, let's talk here. So,
Let me talk to you.
4 years ago, we get rumblings. Now, once again, the Cleveland Browns have a young, upcoming, explosive team. They have Baker Mayfield on a rookie.
Yeah.
They have Baker Mayfield on a rookie contract. They have 2 Pro Bowl receivers, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. They have Nick Chubb, who at the time is the best running back in the game. They have a mauling offensive line who's, a darling of all the analytics. On defense, you got one of the top corners in the game. You have maybe the best maybe best football player in the game at defensive end. You're locked and loaded for years of success.
You'd think, yeah.
So I just want to kind of start there. Andrew Berry gets to the podium Thursday. I think it was Thursday. And he comes out. What's that? You didn't hear it? Okay, so
I think you're right. No, I heard. I saw it.
So he comes to the podium, and immediately, he addresses Quinshon Judkins. And we don't put up with that. We have all these things in place, to help. And we've had these people from the NFL, these business women come in and talk and blah blah blah, and we respect women and blah 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 blah. By the way, this is a girl dad with a very, very smart wife who I've seen a couple of interviews. Seems like a very nice lady.
And she's gorgeous, yes.
Yes, and
they make really pretty babies.
Indeed. And so he's talking about this, and we gotta let it play out and blah blah blah. And then somebody, I think it was Tony Grossi, of course it was, brings up Shador speeding tickets. And Andrew Berry's calm demeanor immediately goes to almost anger. And I don't know if you noticed this, but he lays into Shador's decision making. Just lays into him about speeding tickets. And so I'm sitting here. So I'm watching this kind of in disbelief. I'm like, hold on. If Quinshon Judkins was one time, benefit of the doubt, okay, do your thing. But last year you drafted Mike Hall Jr., who also got accused of hitting a woman. You signed Devin Bush, who currently has charges against him for hitting a woman. There's 3 guys in 2 years. Okay. The year before that, if you remember this name, Perion Winfrey, who was credibly accused with hitting a woman. That's 4 guys in 3 years. Then go back one more year before that, and Andrew Berry, I don't care if it was Jimmy's decision or not, Andrew Berry said he was comfortable with the decision in public, on the record, signed Deshaun Watson, who, as we know, credibly sexually assaulted because he settled with them all. He credibly sexually assaulted numerous women. We don't know the number. So now we have 5 players. 5 players. Okay, one's been cut. Perion Winfrey could be cut because I think he was a 4th and 5th round pick. They got rid of him. On your roster, this is a pattern.
Oh, yeah.
This is a pattern. And before that, you had Nick Chubb. By the way, perennial Pro Bowler, not a franchise quarterback, but now a perennial Pro Bowler, Baker Mayfield, one of the best passers in the league. You had Odell Beckham Jr., who at that point was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Jarvis Landry, we were saying, no, he was. Jarvis Landry was putting up
now.
Yeah. He had 7 straight years of 100 catches. Like, I think it was an NFL record. Like, I mean, you had weapons.
And now he's a locker room cancer. So there's that.
Who? Jarvis? Jarvis hasn't played in a couple years. Oh, Odell?
No. Odell Beckham. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Odell.
Not Jarvis. No.
Yeah, but Odell's been hurt. Like, whatever it is. But that's
all he can't do right is get hurt. That's a whole other topic.
The point is, going back, and once again, hindsight is 20/20, and I get that. But going back, this regime, led by Andrew Berry, coached by Kevin Stefanski, had the NFL future ahead of them. They were a bad call away from dethroning Kansas City and playing for a Super Bowl berth. A bad call away. And they tossed it all. And they signed Deshaun Watson. And they drafted Perion Winfrey. Then they signed Devin Bush. Then they drafted Mike Hall. Then they drafted Quinshon Judkins. This is a pattern. And it
goes back even further than that, actually.
Well, you can go further back.
I will go further back. Because they signed Kareem Hunt.
They did not.
After Kansas City.
They did not. That was John Dorsey. John Dorsey signed Kareem. He's the one who drafted him.
I'm not talking about Andrew Berry. I'm talking about the Browns as an organization. A player who was cut by Kansas City after, I'm sorry, what now? Oh, putting his hands on a woman.
Well, not putting his hands. He kicked a woman while she was on the ground. Like, kicked her.
Right, well.
I've seen the video.
So, yeah, I've seen it too. So he's cut by Kansas City for those actions. And the Browns were like, come on, we clearly don't care. We'll give you a second chance. Now, in Kareem's defense, he put his head down. He busted his ass. Didn't get any more trouble when he was here in Cleveland. And then how does the front office repay him? Unceremoniously cuts him because in a heat of a moment between him and Andrew Berry, he says, trade me. Because they weren't using him properly. And they weren't, because they didn't know how to use him with Chubb effectively.
So, well, and that's, that's the thing.
We talked about that ad nauseum. Yeah. But there is a pattern.
There's a pattern. And so if you want to go beyond Andrew Berry, I mean, Jimmy Haslam, right? And so
Andrew Berry. There's a whole bunch of lawsuits that you don't even want to look at.
Flashback to Thursday. Knowing who Andrew Berry himself has a GM, he has the audacity and nerve to go in on Shedeur Sanders for 2 speeding tickets. Talk about how dangerous. Okay, you know what? You're talking about, hey, it could have been dangerous. First of all, and it's not excusing him, but I've done 100 miles per hour too on the highway. Okay, once again,
same.
It's at night. There's nobody on the highway. Shedeur, has owned up to it. He paid his fines. He said, I'm not even driving anymore. Okay, he had a little lap out, water on the bridge. But Andrew Berry decided to go in on him. Despite Devin Bush, despite Quinshon Judkins, despite Mike Hall Jr., despite Perion Winfrey, and despite Deshaun Watson. And I had a major problem, and that's when it hit me. That's why I'm not excited. Because when you have a guy like that who is justifiably making terrible, terrible personnel decisions, because it's every year now. He's been a GM 6 years, five players.
Yep.
Credibly assaulted women. 5 players this guy is responsible for. And it dawned on me, it's him. When he got up there and talked, and I've always kind of fell for the Andrew Berry. Like, I've always respected him. He's got Harvard educated, well spoken, knows how to manage the salary cap. But then he goes in on Shedeur about speeding tickets, and I'm just like,
you and I have argued about that point because you've always been in Andrew Berry's camp, and I'm like, something just ain't right. It's the math ain't mathing, and something ain't right. And you always were like, no, he's Harvard educated. He's this, that, the other.
Hey, Thursday it hit me. Like this Thursday, it hit me. The problem with the culture of this team comes from two people, Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Barry. And
I have said that's something
yes,
else that I've ad nauseum said this.
and
We need a culture shift.
yeah, and we thought we had it with this, and then the Quinshon stuff hits. And once again, like I said, that may not be on Andrew Barry. Maybe they did all their homework. Maybe they and once again, we've talked about it here. We don't know of anything Quinshon Judkins has done. He's never been credibly reported for anything. He's been nothing but a good soldier at Ole Miss, at Ohio State. Been a good kid.
Right.
And once again, we don't know if he even did this. There's a lot of questions about his accusers. But this is the fifth person in 5 years.
Right.
The fifth person in 5 years.
My question is, why? Again, with your track record of drafting and installing players that clearly have no moral compass or appear to have no moral compass. Let me rephrase that. And you want to go in on a 22-year-old kid who did dumb shit things in a week. Again, we've all done dumb shit things when we were 22. But no one was hurt. He owned up to it. He didn't try and do you know who I am? He didn't do any of that. He paid his fines, did what he had to do, and went back to work. But did you have this same moral outrage when Miles flipped a car with a girl in it who was not his girlfriend on his way home from training camp? Did you have that same audacity? No, you didn't. Did you have that same audacity when we went 3-14 last year and were the absolute joke of the league because you put a stupid $230 million problem in as the face of the team? And that was your ass. Now it's 6 years. It's put up or shut up, and he's trying to save his ass. And if that means he's going to go after – hold on one second, babe.
Yeah.
If that means he's going to go in on Shedeur Sanders because that's what the media wants, because they want him to be – they want to shove him into this little mold that clearly the kid doesn't fit into. But now he knows his ass is on the line. So he's going to give the media what he wants and then tears into Shedeur Sanders.
You bring up a great point about Miles, and that was where I was going to go. I'm so glad you brought that up. So Daryl Ryder, 92.3 The Fan, was doing the show. He was on the radio today, and he brought that same point up. He absolutely brought that same point up. Hats off to Daryl. He went back and listened to the press conference after Miles wrecked his car, and there was none of this. None of the stuff that Shedeur got that Andrew Barry gave him that he gave Miles. And so, okay, maybe you have a thing. Maybe you lost somebody in a speeding accident and it triggers you, Andrew, and we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, despite, Deshaun, Devin, Quinshon, Mike, Perry on, despite all that. Okay. But
if you have somebody who lost, again, when you have someone who crashed a $175 million or however, not 75 thighs.
He flipped a Porsche. He flipped his Porsche and him and his girlfriend walked away, fortunately. And so Andrew Barry did not go in on him. But why did he go in on Shedeur? And so I'm sitting here, and like I said, it all starts kind of coming into focus, right? All this starts to hit me. And I'm sitting here like, why did he go in on Shedeur? Shedeur is the one thing about this team right now that has fans excited. The one. Shedeur is the only quarterback in a quarterback competition that hasn't got reps with the ones yet. Dylan Gabriel, reps with the ones on 7-on-7, reps with the ones on Team 11 drills. Shedeur Sanders, not one rep. Shedeur Sanders was sent over to his own field and he's thrown to a ball boy. So for whatever reason, whatever's going on, the Cleveland Browns have the Cleveland Browns, I should say, the front office, somebody wanted to draft him. Somebody decided to draft Shedeur Sanders. But the Cleveland Browns hierarchy, below Jimmy Haslam, he's not getting a competition. Shedeur has not been in the competition. No. And according to people there.
Well, he will now.
Well, or according to people there, too, he's looked the best. And there's going to be a point.
Yeah, I was looking.
Yeah, there's going to be a point.
I was looking. Go ahead.
Yeah, 1 second. There's going to be a point, okay, if this keeps up, where the players are going to say, we need this kid. It's going to happen. And whoever is deciding, once again, to have him thrown to the ball boy on the other field, who's not giving him reps with the ones. Like Joe Flacco's barely practicing. So we're talking 3 guys, and Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett are getting all the reps. And then Andrew Berry is talking about the terrible things that Shedeur Sanders did, despite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that he is responsible for on this roster, or formerly on this roster, for hitting women or abusing women. There's something going on here, and I realize that's what's killing my vibe right now for the Browns. There is something that stinks going on in this front office or coaching staff or both, but there's something that stinks right now that's going on. And like I said, it came into focus after I watched that pressure. I was so irate. I was irate after I heard Andrew Berry speak. And I've never had a visceral reaction like that. But like I said, hey, Shedeur's a young man. He did some dumb things. We talked to him. It's water under the bridge. He paid his fines. That was it. That's not what happened. Despite him not doing that to Myles Garrett, despite him not doing that to Quinshon Judkins, Devin Bush, Perrion Winfrey, Mike Hall, Deshaun Watson. And yeah, I apologize for going off, but that has put me in a football funk. The Browns decision makers give me no hope for this franchise. No hope.
No. And I said that. I've said that also, that the fact that until
you've been steadfastly saying that for years.
Until there is a culture shift in Berea, and it's got to be from the top down. And I've made the comparison to what happened in Detroit when theirs was because their owner passed. William Clay Ford passed away, left his wife and his daughter in charge of the team. And the wife was a little older, so she stepped more to the back and let her daughter take over. Ford Ham, has done amazing things in Detroit. And it was a culture shift, and you can see that on the field. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
That's what Berea needs.
Yeah.
A couple of things though. You've got the 4 of them who are supposedly doing reps. Now, mind you, you're right. Shedeur has not gotten reps with the first string at all. You know what's not happening? You know who's not in the press and bitching about not getting reps? Oh, Shedeur. You know who's there working, doing whatever he needs to do? Oh, it's Shedeur. Oh, how does that work out? Then you've got up until yesterday, because I was looking at some stats, he was tied with Kenny Pickett for the best record in camp. And he edged out Tiny Hands because somehow out of his little elf hands came an interception. And Shedeur didn't have that. So now what I'm really curious to see is what the bullshit excuse is going to be, because today we got the breaking news that Kenny Pickett blew a hammy and has to be reevaluated. So now, instead of having 4 quarterbacks that you're having to figure out what the hell to do with in training camp, now you've got 3. So how are you going to spin that, Andrew, when you don't want to put him on the first team reps? When does he get to play with the big boys? When does he have to stop sitting at the kiddie table? Because you're running out of excuses.
And
how is that going to work for you?
Yeah. It's infuriating too, because if you are watching, there are some voices who know football who you can trust that are at every practice. Okay. We talked about Zach Jackson on here, Jason Lloyd. If you look at, I know Garrett Bush from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show has been going. Quincy Avery does a lot of film breakdowns, knows the game. Those guys all head and shoulders say that Shador is a better player. It's clear that he's better than Dylan Gabriel. And my question is, so it comes back, who made the decision to draft Shador? Because, Dylan Gabriel's a third round pick. Like, if he doesn't, third round picks at quarterback don't work out all the time. And if you have a guy that's clearly outplaying him, and as we heard at minicamp, a rookie minicamp, and now it's pretty clear that Shador is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. Why are they treating Shador with kid gloves, but letting Dylan, like you said, let Dylan Gabriel roll with the ones, roll with the big boys? It does, none of this makes sense. And like I said, then it comes back to pressers like Andrew Berry had, where he goes all in on Shador. It's like they're trying to find fault with this kid. Yet they drafted him. Why did they draft him? And don't say this is a quarterback competition. We're going to just play that Kenny Pickett's healthy, because if the season started tomorrow, Kenny Pickett's your starting quarterback, which is just mind blowing to me. The way the reps are going, the way everything's going. It's 4 days of camp. I get it. It's 4 days of camp so far. But even in the mini camp, it was Kenny Pickett 1, Joe Flacco 2, Dylan Gabriel 3, and Shador way down on 4. Why did they draft him? If you want to say, hey, we think he projects to be good in the future, and we're going to, say that. Don't say there is an open competition for quarterback for the Cleveland Browns when there ain't an open competition for quarterback. They want Kenny Pickett to be the starter for whatever godforeseen reason. They want Dylan Gabriel to be the backup, and Joe Flacco is there just in case something happens to Kenny Pickett. And then Shador's bottom of the roster, number 52 or 53 on the roster for whatever reason, despite probably being the most talented quarterback there. And you start thinking back to the history of decisions we talked about, starting out with, Baker's not a franchise quarterback. The hell he ain't. Tampa ain't giving him up. Guy's been in the Pro Bowl the last 2 years. Baker threw for 40 touchdowns last year. The Browns threw for, I think, 7, 8. The Browns had the two worst ranked quarterbacks historically in the game.
Yep.
And, so from that decision on, it's been poor decision after poor decision after poor decision. Yep. And that's what leads to 3-14. And, yes, the Browns had a ton of injuries last year, but decision-making has led this roster to the state it's in. And now we're sitting on somebody, the highest upside rookie probably in the NFL right now is Shador Sanders, the highest upside, because he was a 5th-round pick. We'll never know with this regime, because they do not want to play him for whatever reason. And they want to put him down in the press for whatever reason.
Right, which that's not a good look either. I mean, if you can sit there and straight face defend Diddy Cosby.
Hey,
if you can sit there and you can say,
we are comfortable with Deshaun's.
I know
we are comfortable with what Deshaun's done,
and I'm well aware that that looked like a hostage negotiation every time that Stefanski was rolled out there, and Deshaun is the best chance that we have to win. What? Rapist of the year? Yeah, what? In what planet are you? He's the best winning option for anything other than to be the biggest joke in the league. Because you know what? Congratulations. 5 years in a row, you take that title. If we could win Super Bowls for having the most inept front office and coaching staff, back to back to back to back to back, baby.
Yeah,
Dynasty time.
Now, once again, I get all this stuff is alleged. Everything we said is alleged, but there's a pattern of piss poor decision making. Where
there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep, a pattern. Deshaun Watson.
I don't.
Perion Winfrey, Devin Bush, Mike Hall, now Quinshon Judkins, and then you go all in on a kid who just, by the way, this past week through a community-wide festival to try to uplift the community that lost everything. That's who you're going in on, despite who's on your roster already, who's been on your roster already. And by the way, not going after your superstar player when he did something even worse. He probably lucky to walk away. And so Andrew Berry needs to really, really take a deep look in the mirror and see what kind of GM he wants to be. Because his legacy,
don't normally. Yeah, he's going to put up or shut up here. Him and Stefanski are both going to put up or shut up here. Because honestly, if you could have Hugh Jackson at 1-31, I swear to God, he had pictures of Jimmy with farm animals or something, like he wasn't let go directly after the 0-16 season. I don't know what Barry's got on Haslam, but here's the thing. I don't normally advocate. I hated when we would do the front office go around, which is you clean house and you get rid of everybody and you start over. I hate that, because the one thing that you need if you want to be successful in this league or in any sport or anything, you need consistency.
Yep.
But when we consistently have people at the helm who are making horrible decisions, either by judges of character or condemning certain behaviors while lifting up other behaviors, which are both equally terrible, I don't care. But this has been 6 straight seasons of Andrew Berry's reign.
Yeah.
And we're not really seeing anything different, which from where you and I sit, make things a little difficult. Because how are we supposed to come out week after week and hype up or get support around a team that is consistently making horrible decisions and has a mouthpiece that has, well, I can't phrase this exactly how I want to phrase it. No, you know what? Screw it. I am gonna phrase it this way. I don't care. He is making decisions with the audacity of a mediocre white man. I said it.
Oops. I like I said, I wanted to get excited. I watched that.
Oh, we're excited, just not for the right reason.
I watched that presser, and I became angry.
It sucked the momentum out of anything that was coming out of training camp for me.
It did, and I don't know if Andrew Berry realizes how absolutely tone deaf he came across the way he acted. I mean, there's no tone in his voice. It's always the monotone. No. And same with Stefanski, no emotion, no tone. But like I said, you go all in on this kid. Like I said, the one beam of hope and excitement for your franchise, which he is. Trust me, nobody's counting the days till Dylan Gabriel can start a game. Nobody's looking forward to Kenny Pickett throwing 5 touchdowns and 12 picks. Nobody, once again, Shador is that ray of hope. And if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But we might not ever know, because once again, It goes back to what they did with that first pick this year. Pick number 2. They traded away because they want somebody next year. And you can have a diamond in the rough right now, a 5th-round pick, who is, once again, outplaying everybody, out-humaning everybody else. And outclassing everybody.
When you've got this, this alleged stuff going on with Quinshon, why not highlight that stuff that Mike Hall and Shador are doing? You would want the good press, but no, because unfortunately his last name is Sanders. I think it all comes down to the hate against his old man. I really think that's what it is.
And
he did not make friends in the league, and for whatever reason, I think it all comes down to his old man, which is bullshit. But I mean,
I just wish I was a fly on the wall why they drafted Shador, because kid ain't getting a shake, and until they change course, it's. I mean, I have a feeling he could come out and just light it up in a preseason, and he's still not gonna He's still not going to play. And it angers me. And like I said, it was just all solidified. All the excitement I had about this kid was just ripped apart when Andrew Berry went in on him, despite his past, despite his decisions. And yeah, so I'm in a football funk, BB. That's where I'm at.
I got a little spicy because of your football funk, actually.
Yeah, I like I said, the end of July, early August, usually is one of my favorite times of the year. It really is. And then this year, the Browns front office just absolutely killed me.
Well, we're only like 3 months away from hockey season starting, so there's that.
Yeah, in about 3 months, we'll see that, more than likely the Browns will be playing for the first pick of the draft next year. So, got that too.
More than likely. But there's hockey to look forward to, so I mean,
like F1. Well, hey, it's like F1, okay? I've shown I can be flexible. I can learn new sports, and I know a little bit about hockey, but I don't really follow hockey. But you might get me now. You might get me. It might be this year. I mean, yeah, I got to
the dark side.
I got to a Monsters game. Maybe I'll get to go see the Blue Jackets this year. Who knows? Maybe I'll come up to Detroit and watch the Wings.
If they play the Jackets, that'd be great.
Perfect. Another road trip to Michigan.
Well,
here we go.
That'll be making 3 road trips in 3 different sports. Look at you.
Diversifying my portfolio, just like my clients.
Oh my. Okay. On that note, with all of that spiciness being said, from the dog pound to the shoe, and all of the football funk in between, I'm BB.
I'm BC.
And this has been the I-71 Playbook Podcast.
Like and subscribe.